Greetings, dear friends. Greetings. Welcome to a new week. Here we are with our usual regular check-in for our Mindful Motivation for Mindset Mastery session. So welcome to a new week. How was this weekend for you? As you know, we like to just have a little bit of a riffing session here to check in. How are you doing? How are you flowing with the guidance from the moon? This weekend we had the harvest moon, the full moon in the sign of Pisces. And it's all about really getting in touch with your essence, with flowing and harmony, and that vibe is continuing. So we not only had that full moon in Pisces, but also on the 9th, we started our next Mercury retrograde. And so one of the things to be really aware of while we're really getting into this idea of mindset mastery is, how is your communication? So this is really heavily underlined, if you like, as we continue forward, because we have this Mercury retrograde, which is all about allowing us time to maybe revisit certain ways of communicating externally, internally. But at the end of this week, coming on the 17th, we have our first quarter phase of the moon in the sign of Gemini, all about communication. However, because we're still being guided by Virgo season 2, this Gemini communication aspect is really about your communication. You know, a lot of people think that Gemini communication is all about being sociable and getting out and being extrovert. But really with that the vibes of Virgo and of the Mercury retrograde, it's about communication with your essence, with your soul, with your core. Are you leading from your heart? So perhaps this week, as we come, as we still deal with that beautiful full moon energy, and then we come into this next quarter phase, then it's about reviewing, letting go, finding where is your sense of rhythm and harmony and balance. And perhaps there is a potential for it to feel like things around you in your life are going really busy, and yet you're going at a slower pace. And if that's what happens, that's great. Just allow yourself to flow with it. So that's kind of the energy we're sitting in as we start a new week in the middle of September already, pretty much. So I want to do a few things. I'm going to change things up a wee bit. You know that when we kind of go in and look at what's the inspiration from sorry, I just have to turn something off here. There. I like to check in with the inspiration of what is the moon guiding us to do. And so, like I said, it's the big pieces, the big guns is the Mercury retrograde, and then this sort of Gemini is really helping us be authentic when we communicate. And also the other part of that communication is to not get too stuck in your head. That's why I think it's such a powerful piece to just put your hand over your heart and make sure, are you accessing the wisdom of your heart and the guidance that's already there? Because that's what this vibe is perhaps those questions that are the questions that you're asking, maybe you already have the answers within you. So I said I'm going to change things up a wee bit. I like to check in with the letting go, my letting go cards, to see what can we let go of. In order, like I said, the Mercury retrograde is sometimes it's just something comes up and you kind of go, okay, I need to acknowledge it, appreciate it, and let it go. So I have 4 decks of cards that we're going to access this time. So first of all, let's see, what do we have to let go of, or what's the best thing to let go of in order to really connect with our core, connect with the essence, connect with the truth of who you are. And what it is negative body image. So sometimes our chattering mind can actually derail us from communicating with unconditional love, acceptance, and seeing our own worthiness, because we kind of judge ourselves. Maybe we kind of look in the mirror and go, oh look, I've got double chin, or I wish I could be slimmer, or release extra weight, or want long hair, short hair, all those kind of things. So maybe as you get better at communicating with love and kindness to yourself, you to you, then you can actually just accept and love all aspects of you. And when I talk about all aspects, I'm talking about the 4 aspects. You probably, if you've watched these videos before, you know I talk about the PEMS, P-E-M-S. So that's your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, and your spiritual body. All of them, this is something that would be really powerful to work on during this week. How are you communicating on all those levels of you within? Find your best pace and rhythm. Okay, so now I'm going to shuffle the tarot cards and see what guidance does the tarot have available for us in this whole beautiful week ahead that we're stepping into. If I share anything that on these sessions that triggers something, or you need a wee bit more support or guidance, please put it in the comments or message me directly, because the idea of the things that I share around this idea of mindset mastery, it's supposed to feel like, it can feel a little bit like a wee bit of a stretch. But if it starts to be a bit problematic or stressful for you, then reach out for help or support or guidance or more resources, things of that nature. So like I said, please put it in the comments below or message me directly as we checking the tarot card. I love how the tarot cards always follow what we've been talking about. And so the card there, I hope you can see that, is the 8 of Cups. So, you know, I was just saying, so we've got the let go of negative body image, and then I talked to you about the communication on all levels of you, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. It's about communicating with your essence, with your inner truth. And sometimes when we do that, we realize that there are things we need to let go of, that there are people or situations or you know, patterns. Maybe our head had been saying, oh, well, in order to be happy or successful, I have to have this kind of person in my life, or I have to be doing this type of work, or I have to be belonging to this type of group in order to feel successful and harmonious and calm. But maybe that's not true. So be prepared that as we do this unconditionally loving introspection type of vibe for this week, then maybe things will come up that you want to let go, and be prepared for that. But with, you know, with your head held high, and what's next? What's the next beautiful expression of you? I trust that makes sense. So I'm going to pull, I usually wrap these sessions up by pulling 3 of the Doreen Virtues Healing with the Angels cards, but I'm developing a new deck of cards to go with my letting go guidance system. And so these new cards, they're called Liberate Your Truth. And I just got them just this past weekend. This is my first deck. And so what this basically is the idea of, if you get clear on what it is you're going to let go of. And this, I think it's super important that I brought this out into today's conversation, because about that communication. So what this deck is it's a 52 card deck, and they're all I am statements. We know how powerful I am statements are. And so these are kind of I am statements and sort of affirmative information. So all that being said, I thought we'll pull one card and see what's our focus for this week in order to liberate our own truth, your truth. So just take a nice deep breath and let's see what card comes up here. So this is beautiful. This is the front of the card. And that's the back of the card. Aren't they beautiful? I'm very proud of them. So the card that's come up for us is I am sharing my gifts. Everyone has gifts, talents, skills, abilities. Sharing my gifts is a way to give to the world, not because I have to, but because it gives others an opportunity to learn, grow, and advance in ways they have yet to experience. So just breathe that in. And I'd love to hear, how did that land for you? Did it make sense? Did it resonate? So that one is actually really cool, because if you think about that, the idea of letting go was letting go of negative body image, and then to step into that idea of I am sharing my gifts. Those two really feel beautifully nurturing and supportive of one another. Okay, take another nice deep breath. Remember, this is all to find your best rhythm, to find and acknowledge your best timing for your gifts, for your connection with your core. Oh, wait till you see the cards that have come up from these. This is beautiful. And my favorite card of this deck came up. So this is the first one, study. This is perfectly timed for that idea of what I was saying. Find your pace this week and take some time, maybe meditate, maybe journal. Just get clear on accessing your own essence, your truth, what's right for you, not what's your head led you to believe in the past. So coming into that, and it brings us spiritual growth. Isn't that perfect? And then this is the last card here is, this is the one that's my favorite of this entire deck, is emerging. So the truth of you is emerging. This is about finding your best way to communicate with that, through that, trusting it, trusting your intuitive guidance, your inner wisdom. Super important to trust that. So maybe you could actually look at which ways do I ignore the whispers or the guidance that's available to me all the time. I trust that all makes sense and resonates. I wish you a beautiful week ahead, and I'll be back here again to do our next week's session. But like I said, if this triggered anything or you need some more support, please put it in the comments below or message me directly. Much love to you. See you next week.